BYU takes down TCU 76-70. Mitch, Harper, Kyle Ireland here at the Marriott Center. The Cougs extend their win streak to 13 games. It was a grind, Kyle. It was not smooth sailing. It was not a game where BYU's up and down offense was just rolling. They had to win this game in a different style. I remember talking to the TCU beat writer going into this one. TCU needed to muck up this game. They did, but BYU still comes out on top.
Yeah, I mean, late night tipped off at 9 p.m. Mountain Time, so already a little bit different of a game, and then it was just ugly, Mitch. Like you said, they mucked it up, and they did that for 40 minutes. I thought the second half was obviously better from BYU's perspective, and they kind of found some rhythm at times in the second half, but really poor shooting and then some poor defensive performances as well across the board. I think it's one of those games that you kind of just chalk up as, hey, glad we got a win, and then we move on to the next one.
It was a gut check win, as Kevin Young described. I mean, you had Dybantsa, star freshman. He was under the weather. He still finishes with 25 points. He gets a little bit shaken up at the end of the first half. What looked to be his right shoulder fell on that hard. Was kind of winding it up a little bit. He still played in the game. Rob Wright at the end of the first half was kind of limping. KY even said, I thought Dybantsa was going to die out there, is what he said. Yet they still grind it out and find a way to get a win. AJ, I thought early in the second half was a real tone setter. I thought he was brilliant early on. He got a couple old school 3-point plays, finding his spot in the paint. That one against David Punch, a lot of contact, and he kind of lets out a big scream. Thought that was a great play. And then the one where earlier in the half where he's just floating in midair, you're thinking, my goodness, this guy's under the weather. He's a little bit shaken up, yet he's still putting out plays like that. AJ still being AJ. Again, 25 points, 8 of 22 from the field, 7 of 7 from the free throw line, 6 rebounds, 1 assist. Not as efficient of a night as we've grown accustomed to with him, but still, he gets his and still elevates his team.
Yeah, and they needed his 25 points. I mean, they don't win this game without AJ kind of taking over and being AJ to some degree, even if it was an under-the-weather kind of a performance. Saw a bunch of people post on social media, hey, is this AJ's flu game, with the Michael Jordan comparison. Obviously don't know what he was dealing with.
My comparison was more the Jimmer mono game.
Well, you loved the sleeves to start off the game.
Because remember Jimmer back in 2010, he had mono and he wore long sleeves. I thought, oh my gosh, this is like Jimmer. Yeah. It was. I remember that was a UNLV game in early 2010, and Jimmer had long sleeves. Even KY said that threw him off when AJ came out with the long sleeves because, again, KY is all about routine. He wants everything the same every single game, especially at home games, and AJ rolling out with the long sleeves. After the first media timeout, he took those off, which I was kind of glad to see because like KY, I'm like, this just doesn't seem right.
AJ seemed like it was the same kind of thing where he's like, it's not my routine, it's not my rhythm, and then immediately proceeded to score a bucket right after he takes off those sleeves and then, ends up having the game that he has. I thought AJ was big, obviously. Richie was big down the stretch. Dybantsa made some nice plays, especially late as well. But I wanted to bring Kaba up because there was some missing depth there at the 5, especially with Bidu Ahmed's absence tonight. He was out with the shoulder, and just being able to, lean on some of the guys at the end of the bench, guys like Hadim Boop, came in and really gave some quality minutes when, they haven't had a lot of rhythm in recent games.
I thought Mihailo Boskovic had a huge 3 in the second half right in front of the Hollywood seats here at the Marriott Center. I thought that was a big play from Mihai. Those reserve bigs, that bench unit, I thought did a much better job this go around, even though it's still only 9 points off the bench, but I thought it was an impactful 9 points. You compare that to the Utah game where pretty much they were non-existent, only 3 points off the bench in that win over Utah. I thought they did a really nice job without Bidu because he is your backup center. Bidu is going to be that primary 5 behind Dybantsa, but I thought they did a nice job in relief. By the way, we're recording this inside the Marriott Center with a live game in the background. If you're hearing the screeching, Brian Santiago just hit a beautiful baseline jumper, AD for BYU. Santiago's playing, Ryan Smith's playing. I think I see Jimmy Balderson in a gray cutoff shirt. You've got Lee Kumar, BYU women's basketball team. We're seeing the morning run crew in action. This is Kyle,
I mean, it is morning run. It's 12:30 a.m.
Look, maybe it's just me watching maybe I've just gotten the kick of like everything is a privilege after watching The Housemaid. So I'm like, this is a privilege for us to see this. Like, we might have to change our roots, dye our roots. And anyway, have you seen Housemaid?
No, I haven't.
Okay, anyway. But BYU again gets it done 76-70 over TCU. Big win for the Cougars, the big three, as the lights just went out on us here. 58 points combined for the big three tonight. They had a chance to be only the first team in like 30 years to get 3 straight games with the big three all scoring 20 points. That didn't happen. Rob Wright finishes with 15, Richie Saunders 18. To win a game though, Kyle, where you shoot 35% from the field, 21% from three, and still get it done in the Big 12 in the toughest league in America, you can build off of this because there are a lot of teams like TCU defensively in this league and at a higher level with teams like Houston, Iowa State. So I think this is a good barometer for KY's team. We know KY loves proof of concepts. This is a moment where he can kind of look at his team and say, look, it wasn't the greatest night, but you guys still got a victory in front of a really good crowd of 17,000 plus in the Marriott Center, a late night spot. So you just take this win. The predictive ratings aren't going to like this game, how it played out, but still, it's just a win's a win.
Yeah, I think the thing that KY said tonight in his post game that stood out to me the most was that he told his team that they have multiple ways that they can win. The fact that Rob started off the game, gave him a little bit of a scoring punch when it was clearly apparent that AJ and Richie weren't on their A game to start things off tonight, and then really just they found a way to win at the end of it all. Saturday's going to be a big one though against Texas Tech on the road. I think that'll be you look at last Saturday, the Utah game. Maybe Utah is not the best team in the Big 12, but it had the rivalry. It was a hostile environment. This game, it's going to be a better team than either of these last 2 games, and even the Arizona State game. And so it's a step up in competition. It's again on the road. So I think it's been a nice ramp-up period, and I said that when they played ASU. The schedule set up nicely for BYU to get into Big 12 play because the stretch of tough games is coming, and it starts off on Saturday.
It does, and hopefully BYU is knocking it down from 3, only 21% from 3.
They only hit 1 in the first half.
Yes, and Richie Saunders, I thought, had the dagger, putting BYU up 70-63, but you go 5 of 24 in the Big 12 in games, you're not going to win many. This team's talented enough to overcome a lot, but you don't want that to become a growing trend because I thought a couple games ago they were starting to turn the corner with shooting the 3 ball. Hopefully they can get back to shooting at a high clip. But again, it was a night where you just kind of grind it out, find a way to get it done, and BYU did get this done with a 76-70 victory. As Kyle noted, coming up on Saturday, they're going to take on Texas Tech, who took down Utah in Lubbock. So they stay home, rest up, and get ready for BYU to come to Lubbock. First time since 2024. Remember, that was the game 2 years ago. I think it was Noah Waterman was banged up or something, and he was out in that game. Anyway, BYU lost that one in a mid-January tilt in Lubbock. Hopefully BYU can shoot the 3 ball like Ryan Smith was just burying it here at the Marriott Center. But we'll have full coverage on KSLSports.com as the Cougs extend their win streak to 13 games, 4-0 in Big 12 play. Make sure to subscribe to the Cougar Tracks podcast wherever you get your podcast. We'll talk to you next time.